see the sky out west?
Yeah. It was kind of cool looking. Yeah.
All right, we're going live.
Okay. I guess you're right. I'll throw it.
I will, call to order the February 8th, 2024 meeting, regular meeting at 6:02 PM. Quorum must be met. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Wiley? Here. Mr. Craddy?
Here.
Mr. Troy?
Here.
Mrs. Murray?
Here.
Mr. Bivens?
Here.
Mr. Quagliano? Mr. Thompson?
Here.
All right, a quorum has been met, so we'll move on to number 2. We will move into closed session at 6:02 PM. As indicated in the Open Meetings Act, as listed in the agenda, talking about the appointment, employment, discipline, performance, dismissal, student disciplinary, litigation, discussion of minutes, lawfully closed under this act. So I will make a motion to move into that. Can I have a roll call vote?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Craddy?
Yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Bivens?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiley?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
All right, with that, we'll move into closed session.
Okay, so, about 10 minutes till they come back, just hold on.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We will resume the regular meeting at 7:03 p.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
Roy?
Here.
Mrs. Murray?
Here.
Thompson?
Here.
Mrs. Wiley?
Here.
Mr. Quagliano?
Here.
Mr. Bennett?
Here.
Mr. Cray?
Here.
There was no action from closed sessions. We move to number 4, the Pledge of Allegiance, which is we have the February Huntley High Five winners. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Board. I am delighted to have some more Huntley High Five winners here with us tonight. So these are our February winners. As we've done in the past, they'll come up and introduce themselves to you, and then Ms. Lombard will read just a little bit about them as to why they were chosen for this award. So, Luke, are you ready to kick us off?
My name is Luke and I go to Sunset.
Well, thank you, Luke. Luke, this is what your teacher, part of what your teacher had to say about you. Luke can always be seen assisting a classmate who needs a little help, giving a kind reminder to a friend who may have forgotten to take care of something, or a helping neighbor pack up their belongings. Luke takes lead in making our classroom a kind and caring place. Keep up the great work.
My name is Madison and I go to Huntley.
Madison, here's part of what your nomination said. She's a kind-hearted and willingly helps her friends whenever possible. Madison works collaboratively, offers solutions to tough problems, listens to others when working in a group. We are so proud of you, Madison.
Yep.
Connor, here is what they had to say about you at McCabe. Connor is always willing to help his friends with calming their emotions or gathering materials. He's always trying his best, following our champ's expectations, and being a positive leader in class.
My name is Anaya and I go to Sophia Elementary and I'm in kindergarten.
There you are, Anaya. How are you? Anaya is a kind student who is always ready to help a friend. You're a smart cookie, a very hard worker, a respectful student, comes to school each and every day with a smile on her face. Thanks, Anaya.
My name is Hannah Bates. I go to middle school, Heidemann Middle School, and I'm in 8th grade.
Hannah, part of your nomination reads, Hannah is a hardworking, caring, involved student that truly represents the respectful and responsible expectations at HMS. Hannah is a dedicated student that works hard each and every day, can be seen smiling every day, joking every day with friends, and generally showing kindness to all those around her.
My name is Joshua Harris. I'm in 7th grade, and I go to Marlboro Middle School.
And Joshua, here's part of what they had to say about you. As a 7th grade student, Joshua has absolutely flourished and has shown his true leadership potential. Joshua is an outstanding example to all those around him of someone who has gone out of their way to better himself and the school.
My name is Aaron. I'm a senior at Huntley High School.
And Erin, Mrs. Fulton had this in her nomination about you. Erin is an involved student that I am always able to depend on when answering questions or even asking questions in class. Erin consistently demonstrates respect with his positive attitude. Mrs. Barr, we had 2 students who weren't here. I'm going to just read briefly. And that was Erica is at Martin. Erica is a natural leader who fosters a sense of inclusivity, ensuring that every classmate feels valued and heard. Her genuine kindness and compassion create a positive ripple effect in the classroom and school community. And with Michael, and then we'll give both of them a round of applause. Michael is at the Light program. Michael consistently demonstrates kindness to all of his teachers and peers, actively participating in the classroom, respectfully participates in community-based instruction, demonstrates a strong work ethic. Michael's a great role model for how treating others with kindness and having a strong work ethic can help you achieve your goals. So if we can have you guys come around here, we have a certificate, and then we want to grab a picture.
Short person, maybe. Picture on.
Smile. Amazing. Yeah, you guys have like.
William Pro, please.
That is awesome. All right, 1, 2.
Good job,
Nice
guys.
All right, with that, we'll move to number 5, the student scoop. So we have Christina here. Thank you. And I think
Is
Nico
Nico
is
on?
on the line.
Nico, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you all fine.
All right, I'm going to make you louder. Maybe.
Microphone. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Nico, can you try that one more time?
Yep, I can hear you all good.
Okay.
And I think, can everybody hear in the back?
Now, before I turn this over to Nico and Christina, I do want to share that I had a brief opportunity to meet Christina, just very briefly, last spring when you were at an event for your brother who was graduating. And then I was over at I will probably get the name wrong, but the Principal Advisory Leadership Team, where that is a makeup of Dr. Beelan and a number of students. And I came to their January event, and it was actually right after we had a snow day and an e-learning day. And so it was really interesting to be part of that group and to learn a little bit about what they do on a regular basis with Dr. Beelan. And from that, I had an opportunity to get to know both Christina and Nico a little bit better, and then received an email from Dr. Beelan that both Nico and Christina would be the two. There were a number of students that were part of that meeting, but that we could only have two, and that those two were selected to be the student representatives, and they're going to be able to introduce themselves. But what I'd like to share is that in such a short amount of time of getting to know both Christina and Nico, one, I want to say to the parents of both, you have raised phenomenal children. And there are 2,800 and something students at the high school, and I can only imagine that we have a lot of students, but again, we could only select two. But then did have an opportunity to sit down twice over lunch meetings to discuss with them what's the purpose of the student scoop. And Nico and Christina were like, we've already talked, we know what we're doing, we're raring to go on that. And so to be able to hear some of their thoughts about the great things that are going on at the high school, as well as constructively thinking about difficulties or challenges that we may have, and we can't in this time talk about all the positives and all of those things, but we were able to start discussing those things. And again, I am super excited to, one, not only have gotten to meet two very fine individuals, one who will be graduating and one will be continuing on with us at the high school for a few more years here, but to also see the great things that they have accomplished, and I'm excited to hear from the high school tonight. And so kudos to both of you for all the work that you guys have done over the last month for this.
Well, first off, I would like to thank Ms. Lombard for all these kind words. That was very, very nice of you. Thank you so much. And also Dr. Beelan for choosing tonight to be the Huntley. Very, very grateful for this opportunity. Nico, unfortunately, is sick. He's here in person with us tonight. However, we have him on the phone, so he will still. That also means if you do have any questions for Nico at the end, he would be happy to. So a little bit about me. I am Christina Smith. I am a senior at the high school. I have been in the district since kindergarten, so I've been here my whole life. I'm committed to Washington University in St. Louis, where I will be studying business on the pre-law track. I'm also committed to play on the softball team, so I'm very, very excited and very grateful to be here. I play varsity softball at the high school, and I am the president of the student council and founder and president of Spanish Honor Society. My other two highlights I consider, I served on Congressman Underwood's Youth Advisory Council and State Senator. But as you can see, I'm in a plethora of other student activities. So now I'm going to pass it to Nico.
Great, thank you. I'm a sophomore at Huntley High School. I've been in Huntley 158 for over 10 years, so before we even had Chromebooks and those wonderful Kuno tablets. I am part of Dr. Beelan's Principal Student Leadership Council. I serve in many other clubs and activities. I'm also a student athlete on the track and field distance team, and I've also been watching school board meetings since the fall of 2022. And now if we want to get started on the content, next slide, please, is the introduction into what student voice is. So when you look up student voice on Google, it shows this wonderful fancy definition, but the sum of it is it's taking students' thoughts and proposals and ideas on different issues, policies and procedures, and seeing what they think about it and what it means to them and why it's important to them. Now, the reason why it's so important is instead of having to spend resources and time thinking about how students would react or how it would be implemented, just ask us. We're happy to tell you. And from talking with lots of students, we are very opinionated and love to tell you about what we think. And it also helps students feel invested in their learning and so that they have an ownership and that they feel have a personal stake within their buildings and schools. And it also helps improve school culture, and that helps motivate students to learn and go to school and achieve those great high test scores and be interactive and engaged in their learning. Now, next slide, please. Now, in Huntley 158, we value data, and so I did some research into student voice for a project in another class, and I brought it over to here. And in one study, they found students are 7 times more likely to be motivated to learn when they have voice, 8 times more likely to engage, 9 times more likely to experience they have a purpose within school. And in another local study for Chicago Public Schools that took place about 2 years ago, they saw a positive correlation with the data when students have their critiques expressed and responded to, and they have saw better grades, attendance, and reduced rates of chronic absenteeism. And in another school, they had their attendance raised nearly 10%, and their graduation rate nearly double, go from 33% to 70%, and it's going to be their highest graduation rate in 20 years, and that is mostly because of student voice and the impacts that it can have. And the next slide is how can we have more of this great, almost free thing within Huntley 158 and HHS is to continue the Student Scoop because we are on a great track for that. And then allow students to sit on different committees, whether if it's learning, safety, because believe me, students want to tell you about what they think is going on. And then to also evaluate a plan for student feedback where students may not want to have the time to be on a membership council, but still have this one particular issue they want to tell you about, and whether if that can be incorporated into the student tip line or if that can be another extension, it would be great to evaluate a plan for that. And then another one is to evaluate and research the possibility of having a student school board member. And that is very common within school boards all across the nation and Illinois, and there's several studies on them. And reading Illinois state law, it is allowed. It's not a non-voting member, but it is allowed, and they act in an advisory role, and that would be great to research on how we could implement this. And then another point is to maintain good communication with students, because students receive all district emails, and it would be great for us to also be addressed within those emails and not just be addressed to our parents. And then Christina is going to lead us into this next topic of expanding the Principal Student Leadership Council. Thank you, board.
So, as Ms. Lombard mentioned, at the high school, we have what's called Principal Student Leadership Council. Dr. Beelan created it to help gather student feedback and also to express new updates. So it's about 40-ish students. All of us had to submit applications in order to join, expressing how we could contribute to the council and as well as why we think students will. We have monthly meetings where we discuss different issues in high school, and we even have formed a core team this year. So this core team is a lot smaller of a group. However, we are looking to start having students in administration meetings, specifically about safety or about traffic or specific meetings, so students can give even more feedback in those series of discussions. We are thinking that it would be a good idea to even implement TSLC across the district, or at least in schools where students understand the feedback they're giving. Because at the high school, we have seen that our feedback has been directly implemented. Appreciated it. Dr. Beelan has appreciated feedback. It's beneficial for both sides, and it would be a great opportunity to extend student voice to others. So a recent activity we did at PSLC was called the SWOT analysis. So we would start with a topic. For one, we did bathroom issues or absenteeism, and we discussed strengths within that, weaknesses we have in the area, opportunities in them. Nice big poster boards. We went around in small groups working. And at the end, Dr. Beelan was able to have those boards and look at them and evaluate, okay, what are opportunities we see here? Great way to form opinions on the issue. and also some direct implementation. Our students in the past received daily email announcements from the high schools, which was nice. We got to see when our club meetings, when our club's starting. We got to hear when our peers would do really good at sporting events. For example, girls bowling just did phenomenal at a recent competition, and the daily announcement emails will out. But we stopped receiving that. So PSLC expressed this to Dr. Beelan, and now we have them again. Students are very fortunate and very happy to have them back. Also, as Ms. Lombard mentioned, after e-learning, Dr. Beelan was looking for a lot of feedback from the student side of how it went for us. An opportunity for us to express our experiences, much of which were different between each student. So we'd also like to mention the transitions at the high school. Obviously, the two biggest transitions are usually freshman year and then graduating after senior year. So for freshman highlights, 8th graders, they just recently took other courses. They got to visit the high school where Dr. Beelan welcomes them. We do a little club fair, show them different programs, different activities they can be a part of. And then we also get their end of year school celebrations. I'm very jealous of these because this was my COVID year, so I never got to do the Six Flags trip and 8th grade dance, but I'm very excited for them to get to experience it. And we also have Raider Rally. This is a big freshman year highlight. It's hosted by Link Crew, which is a group of classmen who will help kind of like teach the freshmen the ropes of like what our building looks like. Here's some of our high priorities at the high school. This is what it's classes here. They just get to meet some of the teachers, meet some of the students, get ready for high school. Material pickup and walking schedules. We always try and tell the incoming students to walk your schedules. It's a big building, so getting comfortable with the area is great. And then first day in Link Crew and Advisory, like I said, Link Crew, they meet with the students on a regular basis, so they do lessons every week with them, just to get them fully engaged and get them fully. So now this is more personal to me and recent to me as I am currently a senior. I am very, very proud of the College and Careers Office at the high school. It is ran by Mrs. Morgan, who I absolutely love. I really noticed this last year that the College and Careers Office does a phenomenal job in not only highlighting the most common four-year college track, but also highlighting community college and going into trades or going into the military. And I've heard a lot more students express interest now going into trades this year when I didn't really hear that in the past. So it's really nice that those students get to hear those opportunities, get to hear the possibilities, as well as the high school offers certain classes that are good for college preparation. This includes dual credit English, where students write their Common App essay in that class and then get direct student feedback on it. That way they don't have to worry about doing that on top of other homework for other classes. And the College and Careers class is an opportunity for students to take almost personality tests and quizzes to find out which careers would be best suited for them, where their strengths align with what careers, what possible opportunities they have. And senior events, which I'm very excited for coming up soon. So the big one is prom. We actually just started talking about prom at student council today. So prom will be a great time. Last year's senior sunset was a really big event we did, and it went over very well with the seniors. All the seniors kind of gathered at the football field for one last hurrah. We all wear like our college shirts and get to watch the sunset together one last time as a class, and it's a really special moment for us. So those have been really done very well in those regions. Now I'm going to pass this over to Nico. We have seen some busing issues at high school.
Thank you, Christina. So this is the constructive feedback part of the presentation. Now, this has been an issue for numerous years, and it has really just peaked this year, and we've heard a lot about it for students, and we've expressed it to Dr. Beelan, and he's tried to work with administration on this, and this is really something that is important to the students. Some of the issues is crowding. Now, the buses are made to have 3 to a seat, but for Huntley High School athletes that have to have multiple bags, high schoolers that are now young adults that don't always fit 3 to a seat, and coats in the winter, and students have had to stand through 3 to a seat, sit on laps of each other, and also sit in the aisle, and it is really just concerning for safety, and we really recommend evaluating what's going on and how this can be fixed as soon as possible. Heating is also a major issue because when it feels like negative 10 degrees outside and there's no heat, it's not a great way to start off your learning. And sometimes windows are not always working, and when you're going 45 miles per hour down Algonquin Road and it's raining, that's not always a great experience. And there's also a lack of communication about delays, because when it's freezing temperatures and students are having to sit 20 minutes outside their bus stop, waiting, do I try to find a ride or do I just wait another few minutes and the bus will come? And that is really an issue that has happened across the board. And sometimes the parents are informed, but not the students. And parents are either sleeping in, going to work, at work, or just don't see the message, or they assume that the students also get the message, because that's what happens at the high school is parents and students get the same information. And it would be very nice if students could get the same information as parents and get some more information. And then another issue that me and Christina both see is late buses, which means students are tardy and limits their abilities to participate in morning clubs, especially student council, because we've had people want to join, but they can't because they're not going to be on time, and it is taking away an opportunity from them. And sometimes they can only meet in the morning with their teachers, and whether if they need to finish a test or get some extra help, and they can't because they arrive a bit late to school. And Christina, I'll let you take it away for the next slide.
Okay, so being a senior at Huntley, a lot has changed in my 4 years at the school. So I would say overall that HHS culture has significantly improved. Specifically, the community and the together, especially between the classes. I think like the senior group together is really things like the senior sunset and doing those big events, the student council events, just having us all a lot more of a sense of community. More support for academic extracurriculars. This one was very surprising for me to see, but I was very happy to see it. Environmental club, which I didn't assume is like a big club. It is massive now. It is all over the school. You will see fundraisers, there are display cases. Membership has increased significantly, and a lot of people are respecting it and participating with things like math teams. Membership has increased, and every time they do well at regionals or at a competition, students are telling the members, like, good job, and they're recognizing them and highlighting them, and it's really cool. Academic extracurricular. Also, my sophomore year, which is my first year in the actual building, there was a big issue with fights, almost weekly, unfortunately. There were a lot of fights, versus now it is a lot rarer to see. Just safety feels better at the high school now than it used to. And there are a lot more resources available. I mean this both academically and emotionally. I will soon talk about Rater Aid, which is a big tutoring service we offer at the high school. And as well as emotionally, counselors are a lot more accessible now, and students are a lot more informed about it. Also, my freshman year on Principal Student Leadership Council, I heard from seniors and upperclassmen that the underclassmen were very disrespectful to them, and that there was a lot of tension between the classes. And as a freshman, I had no clue. I was like, I don't know why they're mad at us. I don't know what I did. But now as a senior, it is not an issue whatsoever. No one really even talks about it anymore because it is just how much that issue has gone away. And to hear that people were so frustrated about it, and it was such a big concern to now be like non-existent. So some of the student resources and opportunities at the high school, like I said, is Rater Aid. This is a room where students can go to any period of the day or after school. And there are teachers in there that cover multiple subjects and can help them with whatever opportunity to, if you're just studying a period before a test, or if you're struggling with a homework assignment, there is a teacher there that can help. There is a new HHS Writing Center. This is a teacher specifically to help students with their writing, whether it be college applications, job applications, just an English class essay. It's nice that there's something writing focused. This helps a lot of. There's a math specialist for regular regular math classes. They meet with the students, just giving them that little bit of extra help they might need to better in classes. NHS tutoring, National Honor Society, I have done this myself in the past. This is a great opportunity because it is peer-to-peer rather than an adult, so sometimes students feel more older than with an adult. Also, they coordinate the tutoring directly to the students, so they contact one another and work out the perfect. Like I said, counselors are a lot easier to get support and access to, as well as there were counselors in the past, but I think now they're advertised a lot better, so students are a lot more informed on where they can go to and when. So actual involvement-wise, there are 50 clubs at the high school, so if you are looking to get involved, there is something for you at the high school. There are so many opportunities. There are 28 sports teams. I am biased, but I will say softball is the best. And there are also opportunities to get involved outside of just the high school. This is one of my favorite parts about Leo's Club, which I'm also in. We do a lot to work with Del Webb in Sun City, as well as Raider Nation just did Chuck-a-Duck to help the Grafton Food Pantry. So there's ways to get involved with the Huntley community outside of just the high school. Student support groups, if students are emotionally struggling, there are small groups they can meet with to talk about those feelings and seek help and access support for their issues. As well as recognizing American diversity events. These are some of the best events. They are held monthly, and they highlight and recognize previously like marginalized. It is a great way to connect with the community, to connect with students, and just celebrate and recognize different cultures and people. So me and Nico would like to say thank you so much for having us here. It was an honor, and we are so grateful for this opportunity. And we are so happy to promote student voice and to continue. Once again, thank you to Ms. Lombard and Dr. Beelan. And we would like to open it to any questions.
And that presentation was all them. Dr. Beelan and I just sat back and answered a few questions, but that was all them. Nice job.
Thank you.
Very nice job.
I'll start off with a question. So you talk about student voice and student engagement, and definitely the numbers around that. That definitely helps overall test scores and just being more prepared once you graduate. Do either of you have any thoughts on how we can get the kids who are choosing not to get engaged? Because there's enough clubs, as you pointed out, there's enough variety there. Maybe we're missing some things, but how would we get the people who are choosing not to engage in high school?
I would say promoting when the clubs are based is great. They are in the announcements, but some people hear the announcements. I honestly don't hear the announcements every day. It's just my class is talking over them. So if there is a club meeting that I was interested in, sometimes audibly, as well as I do think sometimes at the high school, suggestions to join clubs down kids' throats. Sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming because they join clubs. I think if it was a more gradual and easy approach to it, I think students would be a lot more comfortable, as well as promoting to join with a friend. Students feel way more comfortable doing something when they are not alone. If you clubs can promote to have a group of your friends come with you, just go to the informational meeting. No commitment. Students will be a lot more willing to talk.
Nico, do you have anything to add to that?
I think just also this is something maybe the Principal Student Leadership Council could work on, is going to students that are less engaged and seeing, well, what would be important to you, what's not working for you, or why aren't you interested, or what would make you interested, and then we can come up with a plan for next school year and see how we can help improve this and see what students want and what is important to them.
Thank you. All right, looks like they're out of questions tonight.
We like them speechless.
Great job.
Yeah, excellent job.
Nice job.
Really appreciate the feedback.
And thank you, Nico, for joining, over the phone with us today, and I'm sure there'll be some other opportunities in the future.
No problem. Thank you to the board and Ms. Lombard and Dr. Beeland for all the great help, and the community for watching and seeing what we have to say and taking some of this and having action on it. And thank you so much, and we hope to continue on this great track. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We do keep going back to a student on the board, so I think we'll have to figure that out.
And that was them. That didn't come from me, so.
Nico was a sophomore, he will still be here.
All right, so move on to student recognition. We have.
There you go.
My name's Leah Novak. I serve as the Department of Languages, which can be better. I'll start again. My name's Leah Novak. I serve as the Department Chair for Fine Arts and World Languages at the high school, and I'm really, really honored today to show off some of our most talented students. So the students standing behind me, awkwardly behind me, are just part of the crew that have recently been recognized by the Illinois Music Educators Association. The students behind me participated in this fantastic organization in two different ways. Some of them actually earned performance opportunities at the district level, either through choir, band, or orchestra, so actually being invited through an audition process to go down and play with this huge, big, fabulous ensemble. And some of our students actually participated at the state level as future music educators. So outside of performance, they had to submit an application, a portfolio, and some questions, talk about not only why they wanted to be music educators, but also what attending the symposium would do for them. So we have a small group behind us because the rest of them are all at rehearsal right now, which is what always seems to happen. So our full list, we have Mr. Zach Barnbos, Ava Burns, Madeline Sema, Grace Como, Gray Edelstein, Ella Fells, Ava Latoria, Madeline Peterson, Ian Pontius, Ainsley Robbins, Katie Scaletta, and Miles Taylor. So they did a really great job. Thanks, guys.
Mrs. Novak, before we have them come around, I just wanted to also share, I believe it was at the same few days that all of you were down there, that we also have Mr. Jeffrey Rollins, who is recognized at the Illinois Music Education Conference as the American Strings Teachers Association Outstanding Emerging Educator of the Year. And so that is a great accomplishment. Some of you work with him, and many of you are a part of the strings. And so I did want to give that shout out and that recognition as well. And just very, very excited to have you all here tonight.
Yeah, congratulations. All right.
We can do the parade.
Mm-hmm.
Major fun. You know how to do this.
What year?
Congratulations. I probably can do that. Now I'm gonna figure out how to hear you. Congratulations.
Oh, we're saying this, awesome. Oh my gosh, congratulations, great job.
go to the tall side instead of the short side.
Is this it now?
We've got the formation.
Good job, guys. Everybody else?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know.
Okay.
All right. Then we have public comment. There are no public comments. There are no public comments. There is a second option for it, so.
Super Bowl predictions?
All right, we'll move on to number 8, revision and adoption of the agenda. Do we have any suggested changes?
I do. I wanted to remove, 15.4.1 for staff repulse to be on a separate vote.
Okay. So you just wanted to have a separate, its own vote?
Correct.
Okay, I don't have an issue with that. Anybody have a issue with that? So I will make a motion to move forward with the agenda as presented, except that 15.41 will be moved to a specific vote. Thank you, Mr. Craddy. Move it to section 16. Thank you, Mr. Troy. Thank you for the second. Can I have, actually, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, that will pass, and we'll move ahead to number 9, the president's report. So, a couple things in here. 9.1 is the superintendent's contract. So, any discussion about that? I've got some comments, but I'll let other people.
Yeah, actually, I do. So I prepared this because this has been rattling around in my head for quite some time. This entire process has really bugged me, given me quite a bit of angst from beginning to end. From the start, I advocated for utilizing the search firm to conduct a national search to help this board find our next superintendent. I afford it, and I believe it's in the community's best interest. I advocated this route for several reasons, including affording our entire 158 community in-person opportunities to have a voice in the search process. I advocated leveraging the experience and expertise of a search firm that had Q&A presentation, and we even had Q&A presentations in this room. As a board, we hire one person. The CEO of our entire district encompasses of roughly 46 square miles, 46,000 residents, 9,000 students, 1,400 staff members. I believe our shared responsibility is to do our due diligence in executing such a search with fidelity with our community. After all, the process was stated publicly from the start, but changed several times. I am sorry that we did not do both, what we said we were going to do, and do what we said. I apologize to the Huntley community for being unable to convince my colleagues to do a comprehensive search among thousands of superintendents and aspiring superintendents, locally, statewide, and beyond, even perhaps internally. Our job is to do the hard work, not the easy work. Frankly, in my opinion, you deserve better. In closing, I strongly believe Lombard will serve this district passionately and with great distinction. And I will support her any way that I can. advocate for success. My objections, both publicly and in closed session, have been about the circuitous route this process has taken, not the final destination. Again, it's not about the person being selected tonight, it's about how we got here in the end. Very much.
All right, any other comments?
Yeah, I'll comment on that because I understand the position well. Opinion as to it is we had gone through a comprehensive search. I've seen what a comprehensive search is. I've seen what the shiny new pennies superintendents are. The issue ends up being we could have spent an enormous amount of time to get a vast pool of superintendents that you would never know how they would work in this particular school district, how this school district operates. I think the decision was made that based upon where we're at in time and place, our district's situation with the card and her vast experience throughout all the levels throughout the district and her experience, that you were never, ever going to find somebody who could care in that manner. I mean, you were not going to find somebody from the outside who knew one thing about our district, who was going to be able to mesh with our other administrators and with our staff. The learning curve on that would be well over a year to even get them to even be on track as to what they were doing here, right? The task at hand was to get this district moving forward immediately. We gave Ms. Lombard a opportunity over a several-month period of time to show how she would work within that position. You know, she had been working with our previous two superintendents who had both highly recommended her as being ready for the position at various times throughout their tenure here. So at the end of the day, in my opinion, it was going to be a waste of time. Truly a waste of time. You can go, you say, we can do this vast universal search. We did it. We did it 4, 5, 6 years ago, and yielded a lot of bright superintendent talent. But at the end of the day, what you have to evaluate is the superintendent's ability to interact with the people who exist in the district and are able to connect and be able to get things done from immediacy. And I think, well, I understand that there's an issue with potentially short-circuited what was going on. I felt, in my opinion, that we had the right person all the time and it didn't require an extensive search, because I don't think who could compare at this time for it.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
I think that we strive to be innovative. That's the thing that we continue to say. And I think the fact that we executed this search in a different way than what's been done in the past. We did a search for Dr. Rowe, and there was a search that was broadened, and we ended up selecting somebody internally. So I feel that this is an innovative way that our board and our district is approaching this, and I'm very proud of the process that we went through, because it is different. We don't have to do the same thing over and over again just because that's what we've done in the past. And I respect people for coming here with a difference of opinion and different points of view and looking at how we can approach the situation differently for the needs that we need in this community now. Not what they were 5 years ago and not what we need 5 years from now, but what we need today. And that's to move our district forward quickly and harness the potential and the growth that we have here.
Thank you, Ms. Wiley.
I'll say one comment. I echo that, what Dana and actually Tony said. I think we put a lot of time and work into this, and I know I was told, just as a suggestion, don't think about the 4 months that I've known her when we were thinking about getting a new super or deciding on what way we go. Don't base it off of you've just known her being on the board since May. But I look at that as I've known her that long or seen her. My kids have been in the district, so I would put that higher than meeting someone for an hour of interviews. So I'm going with that. I have faith in her, and I have
I believe in her, and I believe she's going to be a great leader for our district, and she's going to take us to new heights, and congratulations.
I guess I had a couple comments here. So back in May, when I first started in this role and on the board, we learned one of the first things we would need to do is to find a new superintendent. We were lucky to have someone who was ready day one, already in the district, and we appointed her interim superintendent. Everyone from the staff, administrators, and the board were comfortable with the choice of Ms. Lombard to fill this role. In the last 7 months, Ms. Lombard did not sit back, as some interims might do. What gives me great comfort is how she managed the changing district office. So there was a lot of change around these tables here that were going on there, and she helped manage it, bringing in several new people coming into place. She jumped into refreshing some of our policies to ensure we were moving in the right direction for our culture of learning in our schools. We heard some of that tonight, specifically the behavior push of the phone policy communication throughout the schools. She was a big part of the success in our major contract update with the HEA. There are just some of the examples of why I am comfortable with her leading the district. We received strong feedback from the HEA in the fall about how she would be an excellent choice for our staff to lead the district. As a board, we reached out to the community and directly with the superintendent's direct reports for feedback on what people wanted to see in our superintendent. We received great feedback, and very specifically, her name was brought up. Some of it was very direct, and it wasn't all positive feedback on the board and other folks as well. So we heard good feedback. Lastly, we took this opportunity to formally have Ms. Lombard give us her vision for the district, which is what happened last week, and answer questions from the board. We asked a wide range of questions, and I gained even more confidence in Ms. Lombard that she is the right choice for District 158. She is the right person to keep the focus on student achievement for all students. I fully support this contract and Ms. Lombard as our new superintendent. Huntley 158 is very fortunate to have such a leader in our district. With that, I will make a motion to approve the superintendent contract in 9.1 for Ms. Lombard.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Can I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Whitman?
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiley?
Yes.
Mr. Craddy?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Murray?
Yes.
All right, so with that, we have a new superintendent for the district.
I just pick on the briefly.
You're the superintendent, go ahead.
Well,
You have your own
yeah.
section.
I have my own section, but I just do this in this part here. First, I want to thank all of you for that vote of confidence. I know that we're going to have a lot of positive things that are going to happen in this district by working together, working with those of you who are out there in the audience. We're on Zoom in all of our buildings, and I know we're going to hit challenges, and we're not always going to see those things eye to eye, but I know that we all want the same outcome, and because of that, I know that we will be able to continue to take those great things in District 158 and move those forward. So please know that I'm going to take this role extremely with high regards. I know that there are great expectations with us. I know that there are things that we want to do for our students and staff and for our community, and it's something that I've been able to see for 20-something years here, and I will continue to expound about those things as well. And I've got 3 of my 4 family members in the back, so thank you guys for coming out and supporting all of these years and knowing the things that come into that, and coming out here tonight. But again, I will do everything that I can with the staff that we have, and the community and the parents. And I hope you all know that I value that open door policy. I know that people can send emails and phone calls and meetings, and we've looked at different ways of getting that voice. And again, we might not always see things eye to eye, but we will move in that direction to do great things for our students. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That, we'll move on to 9.2, board discussion. Is there any new business items that someone to stay for?
That's my family. They're probably going to eat now.
I'm joking.
Did we do public? We didn't have public.
Oh, we didn't have any?
Yeah, we had none. 9.2 is, board discussion, so any new business?
I wanted to propose a new business item, and I think it's probably timely, with the discussion that we had here with our two representatives from the high school, but, being on the Community Relation and Student Outreach Committee, I'd like to formalize, some opportunities for us to be able to talk to the public, and meet in maybe an informal way, but I'd like to get some guidance around and start some discussion about how we can do that. It can be a push and pull type of a situation, so we can listen, but we can also push some information out there. And I think that the work that Dr. Beelan's done at the high school with the leadership team, I think that that's a great way for us to kind of bring some of those folks in, but then also get some other voices, start at the high school and then work down to middle school and maybe elementary school and maybe a partnership with the parents. But I'd like to we formalize some forums and start to talk about how we can just make ourselves a little bit more visible in our community.
And I think we can do that as kind of just informal board, or if they're formal board meetings, but it's really about bringing in the feedback on that. We can probably press a couple topics if you want to get people interested.
Should that be, should that be, maybe a subunit of the community outreach?
And that's my thought.
Yeah.
But just to formalize the actual forums and hopefully come up with, like we've been doing with our curriculum committee, you know, actually getting some agendas out there and getting some topics, maybe working collaboratively with our schools, and maybe with some of the students at the high school to talk about some topics that aren't already being covered. We're doing a really good job with PTAC and uncovering some things. We've done a lot of work with the curriculum, but there's probably other topics out there that I think that we can probably engage parents in.
I think one of the things next month, Mrs. Barr will be, March will be coming forward with, our communications plan. And so there may be some things that you're gonna see in that rollout of that plan on how there's, monthly meetings that the buildings are having. How do we get, they're sharing a lot of that information, wanting to get that feedback. How do we just get more members, and community and parents coming to those? Because I think that's, again, they're there, how do we enhance those opportunities? So a lot of that will probably be kind of shared in that communications plan, but then maybe there's some other things that can come out from after that. But stay tuned for March next month when Mrs. Barr rolls some of that out. I think you'll see some opportunities in there as well.
So just next CAL meeting, your committee should forward that as should be an agenda item.
Yep. I think we'll take this and put it as an agenda item. All right, excellent. Any other new business? All right, with that, we will move on to the superintendent's report.
All right, well, we did one item. So first, donations that are in the packet, wanted to highlight those. We have M2 Adventures, Maui Wowie, with $340, a percentage from the invite competition hosted at Huntley High School on January 7th. Atlas Language Services for $250 for freshman wrestling. Parkside Pub for $1,233, again, wrestling, sponsoring wrestling team spirit. So we thank all of those individuals and organizations for the continued support of our activities that are happening here in District 158. Second, I just wanted to provide an update. There are a lot of different opportunities that we look for to be able to share the things that are happening in District 158, provide ways to make connections and partnerships and collaborations. And actually, this one came to us, and it came probably a couple of months ago, but last night, Mrs. Barr, myself, Dr. McCrindle, and Mrs. Gill were able to present at Ted Spella's Leadership Academy, which is through the village of Algonquin. It's similar to in our county, McHenry County, majority of our county, LGMC, and a number of us have gone through that program. This is a similar type setting where there are monthly topics that individuals from a variety of aspects of the village of Algonquin participate in. And so they've had sessions around government. They've had sessions about healthcare. Last night was around education. And so the four of us were there to present. District 300 did a presentation prior to us, and then we talked about a lot of the things. While there's some similarities between our districts, and we are right next to each other and have some crossover, there's some vast differences. And I think one of the best components, not only could we share the successes and the achievement we've had. We've also been able to talk about some of those challenges and how we've come through those. We talked a lot about our transition program and ways to build the community involvement with that. We talked about our academic successes and the areas we're going with that, but also how to continue to build and enhance our partnerships and our community relationships, and Mrs. Barr was part of that. So we did want to share that that was a great opportunity. They invited us to come out not knowing really what to expect, and I think that from there were a number of people who came up, how can I help with the transition program, with Special Olympics? Tell me more about that. And I think that those opportunities, while it was not a super large auditorium full of people, they wanted to know how they could help the partner, and it takes the community to get our students. So thank you, ladies, for joining yesterday. I thought it was a great evening. Third, just want to do in the student scoop that highlighted our RAD event, and this Friday at the high school from 5 to 7 p.m. We just welcome anyone to come and join to celebrate. If you've seen the advertisements out there, we want to make sure that we are celebrating Black Americans and the arts. And Dr. Bale, am I correct? 5 to 7 in the Commons area. So it should be a great time. So if you're able and looking for something to do tomorrow night, we welcome you to join us. And then the last component is, as we know, every November we have the III conference, and it's professional development for a variety of different organizations, the school board, we've got the chief business officials, and then our administration. And this time of year, they're looking to collect if there are any proposals that districts would like to submit. We have till March 1st to go ahead and do some submissions there. We had a couple ideas of some things that maybe we could put together a proposal and potentially present if we were selected. One is around our community engagement and involvement, some of the things that we are doing, that road to be able to continue that. And then we also looked at an academic component of that, of looking at our enhanced school improvement process. When we talk about how what starts at the district improvement goals, our strategic plan, go all the way down to the individual students and the work that is done by many staff members within this district, and it starts here with the board, and then our cabinet, and trickles down. So those are two possibilities, but wanted to open it up to see if any of you had any recommendations on proposals that you think might be good learning opportunities for other districts in November. You don't have to answer today. You can marinate on that. We could bring that topic back later. Would you be opposed if we looked at our school improvement and our community relations to start putting some proposals together on those two areas? Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, and I will say, I've only been to the one III conference. It was a little bit lacking on the academic side of things, so I like both of them, but it would be good to get more focus on the academic side at that conference.
We talked about, I mean, some of you have been to the curriculum workshops and the work that happens. We do a lot of that up here, the work that is happening in the buildings, and that is that straight through from our priorities right to the kiddos. If we can enhance that and help educate other districts on how to do that, are we continuing to enhance and learn from that? And we keep tweaking that process and getting better and better, but I think that would be something that we could really help other districts with.
Anything else? Nothing else? All right, so we will move on to number 11, Assistant Superintendent Learning and Innovation, Dr. McCrindle.
All right, I have two updates. The first one is actually about the school improvement process. Our buildings are currently finishing up their midwinter school improvement team meetings. These are opportunities for a variety of staff, which includes teachers, our interventionists, our facilitators, instructional coaches, building activities, get together and take a look at data, and they are trying to make some actionable changes right now that can impact our students between now and the end of the school year. So our teams are all meeting. A huge celebration is many of our buildings are already meeting their spring goals right now in the winter. So they're having to stretch their goals and revisit them a little bit more. So that's exciting. And we actually pushed really hard to have those goals be even more locked than they've been in the past. And so modeled off of our strategic plan work that we did. And so we're very excited about that. So hopeful to see that continue, and our buildings are hard at work having those conversations right now. And then the second update I have is
Thursday, we do have an Institute Day. What that means is our teachers, students aren't here, but our teachers are here and they are learning. At the K-5 level, they will be doing some choice sessions again, with a variety of topics from reading, math, social emotional learning, supporting behaviors, et cetera, that teachers can choose from, so it's differentiated based on what they might need. At our 6-12 level, they are also doing some choice sessions that's centered around that science of reading, and they're going to choose which part of that, since that's our focus right now. They need as a classroom teacher. And in addition to that, our special services department, they're meeting in some job-alike meetings and having some opportunity to have conversations at a K-12 level. And so we're really thankful for the time that we are provided with our staff, and we take it seriously, and we use every minute of that to help really push that improvement in supporting our staff to help our students' needs. Those are my 2 updates. Unless you have any questions.
I just want to do a little bit of a call out to the curriculum committee, which is following up with the school improvement plans, and we're getting updated on that. I was only able to go to one of them, but it was really good information and a good exchange of how things are going, so. We will move on to number 12, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Altmeyer.
No update.
All right, thank you. Number 13, Assistant Superintendent of Special Services, Ms. Gill. All right, number 14, Ms. Murray.
All right, thank you. So I don't have a lot other than, highlighting on what Dana proposed. I think that, or Mrs. Wise. I'm excited for the future opportunities we can have to meet the community members and discuss things that we may not get to otherwise. So, excited for that. Let's see here. I'm excited for getting a student on the board. That out there. I think that's fantastic. So, and then we have, let's see here, one FOIA, I believe, that report. That is. Other than that, any other questions, committee? Dana, Sean? No? All right.
Then we will move to number 15, which is the consent agenda. Remember, 15.4.1 will move at the end of 16. So any discussion about the consent agenda? With that, I will make a motion to adopt the consent agenda as follows, with the exception of 15.4.1.
Second.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Quagliano. Can I have a roll call, please? Vote.
Yes.
Mrs. Wiley? Yes. Mr. Fitton?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mrs. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Craig?
Yes.
All right. With that, the consent agenda passes. Move down to 16. So we will start with the abatement resolution, 16.1. Mr. Altmeyer.
Thank you very much. As presented and discussed with the board in January, tonight we are formalizing the approval of 2 abatements, the next 2 agenda items. This first abatement is for the Marlowe Middle School 2006 edition, for which we have been abating this annual debt on an annual basis. And tonight we have a final resolution for the Marlowe Middle School edition via the abatement of $467,498. That is the final debt payment for the series 2016 debt. So I ask for the board's approval to approve the attached resolution to that as part of our final year. I can answer any questions on that one.
Do you happen to have the percentage off the top of your head with the 1.467, what that would look like to the taxpayer increase?
Well, with the 467, this is an annual abatement outside of the.
This is,
all right.
Outside. This is the middle school edition that we've been paying and paying from our operating, well, not our impact fees and things of that nature over the years. This has just been an ongoing, no problem. This is the last year of that.
All right, no discussion. I'll make a motion to approve the 2016 debt refunding abatement resolution 2024-01-01.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Troy. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Ready?
Yes.
Mr. Fitton?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiley?
Yes.
Mrs. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
With that, the 16.1 passes 7-0. 16.2. Then I'll ask the question.
This is yours.
Thank you very much, Tim. I'm gonna give you your answer to that question with this one. So it's again discussed in January, on January 18th at the board meeting, the board agreed to utilize district funds of $1.161 million, of the district funds to abate property tax associated with levy year 2023 by decreasing the 2023 levy bond and interest by $1.161 million. The abatement would provide an approximate 1.35% decrease to levy year 2023, resulting in an approximate $63 decrease for someone with a $300,000 market value home. So I did update those numbers a little bit from last time because they did not reflect the additional abatement of the interest earnings of $161,000 as a result of the Series 2004 refunding escrow related to the Series 2023 forward refunding bond of $12.3 million. So I have shared that in the memo. This again is a resolution to abate $1 million because $160,000 is already being paid. So in front of you, you do have that resolution to solidify and really formalize the process of abating. I'd be happy to answer any of the questions.
All right, I'm not seeing any questions, so I will make a motion to approve 16.2, Abatement Resolution 2024-01-02 as outlined in the agenda.
Second.
All right, I'll give that.
You may want to change it because the agenda says $1 million.
The resolution is for $1 million. There's interest earnings of $161,000 that are already being abated.
Okay.
So within my memo, I noticed $1.161 million, but tonight the board is approving the resolution for $1 million, so that is correct.
Wanted to be clear.
Yes.
No,
that is correct.
that's a good call out. So,
Thank you.
I think everything is okay as it was called. So, Mr. Craddy gave me a second. Can I have a roll call?
Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Britton?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiley?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mr. Craddy?
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
All right, with that, the 16.2 passes 7-0. We will move on to 16.3, supplemental purchase orders. Buying a lot of things.
Nothing else to add there.
All right, any discussion? All right, with that, I'll make a motion to approve 16.3, supplemental purchase orders as outlined in the agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Quagliano. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiley?
Yes.
Mr. Britton?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mrs. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Craddy?
Yes.
With that, we will move to what I'm calling 16.4, which is 15.41 in the consent agenda. So any discussion about that?
I just have a question. So when we look at the contract that was provided at the committee of full, pilot was less. Now the contract showing, we changed a little bit of the parameters. We said we were going to get rid of high school, focus a little bit more on middle school and elementary school, but now it looks like the price went up to 20.
Mhm.
Time
So
length.
It was the length of the
Okay.
time, yeah.
I just want to make sure
Yes,
that
no,
it
thank you.
wasn't.
No, so we were able to, I think I shared that it was like 6 months before, and so it would originally have doubled to 28, and we were able to keep it at 20 for that.
Okay.
And that's also not adding high school until if we, in the fall, if we were to continue at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, no, thank you for
wanted to make
clarifying.
sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other discussion? All right, with that, I will make a motion to approve 16.4, which is listed as 15.41, the contract with Satchel Pulse.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Troy. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Craddy?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mrs. Murray?
Actually, no, and I want to tell you why. I could discuss this, but I wanted to go on my vote. My reasonings are, I don't feel it's necessary to add this to teacher's plate. I don't believe this screener will give the result it's promising. I don't believe this will be cost effective with having a price tag of $20,000 just for the pilot. And most of all, After attending the impressive elementary, admin meeting regarding curriculum this past Monday, I was just really encouraged about all the professional development that teachers do at all the times, the extreme measures that you guys take is really impressive. It was just laid out a little differently than the high school was, I know, so I was able to process it a little different. I believe our teachers already do the rigor it takes to teach even the most challenging situations without being directed from data results of a screener. They have proved it when they tackled and persevered through the effects of remote learning in creative ways. And since social emotional learning is a product that came from that, I feel we are addressing these needs without collecting any more data on our teachers. And I think the teachers are fully capable of tackling this without anything in addition. So that's why I'm voting no.
Mr. Wiley? Mr. Whitted?
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
All right, with that, the motion passes 16.4, which was 15.41, 6-1. And we will move to 17, which is the end of the meeting public comment. You can fill it up after. All right, I see one public comment at least. Ms. Cross.
Okay.
Oh.
First, I'd like to be the first parent and community member to congratulate Jessica Lombard. This position comes with challenges, but I have no doubt that you will handle with grace and strength. I have had the pleasure of watching you transition from the sidelines to the head of our district, and I couldn't be more proud of the choice our board has made. I think that the 2 high school students tonight also did an amazing job. It was validating to hear from the students themselves that some of the concerns we raised were in fact true, despite being told previously that they weren't. I will say, though, that since Jessica has stepped up, that our voices are finally being heard, and that two-way communication is so refreshing. On a completely side note, I do want to point out that the Marlowe employee is still risking his life in the morning. And though I appreciate the break in traffic, to not sit there for 20 minutes to pull out on Halligan, I really think that a traffic control officer should be put out there. I wanted to publicly say also that the mental health fair that just happened was filled with a ton of resources, and I was surprised at not having more high school attendance and student attendance in general, since this is such a hot topic in our district. Major kudos to Jill Shadle for all of her work to obtain vendors and resources. There were vendors from military resources to speak for infants. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it started speaking. Not everybody is familiar with that, but that's where that starts. So there was a gamut of all sorts of resources for everything that you could possibly think of, and it wasn't just for special needs, mental health in all capacities. And I think that should be pushed so much to get major attendance there, because I can't even imagine the amount of work that went into obtaining all of them. And who would want to put in all of that work when you're not getting the enrollment or the engagement that you should be getting? So I was glad to see a few of our board members there, and also a variety of staff. That's where we should be pushing that out to the community, not necessarily in a classroom and putting that on our teachers' shoulders. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that comment. I did go to the mental health fair the second year in a row. I think the attendance actually was up. I'd like to see that continue to grow, because it's amazing how many people are there, and the different resources that are around here. So, with that, I guess one final comment before we go to the adjournment, because this will be the fastest meeting that I think we've ever had. I'm going to take just a moment. With the superintendent, I didn't hit this before, I probably should have. This is kind of a rollout that's going. There's going to be an update on the website. I think there's emails going out. Maybe, do you want to take just a minute and outline it? I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
But you are.
Yes. So I have sent out emails to staff and parents and students with our big announcement. And then, yes, I think tomorrow morning we'll have a dedicated webpage where we can find a video message from Ms. Lombard. And a press release will also be going out tonight. There'll be other resources on the webpage as well.
Thank you for that. So, and then you're going on a road show, I think. Sorry.
Mrs. Barr has not informed me of that yet.
I think you've just been.
All right, with that, we will move to number 18, which is adjournment. So I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:22 p.m. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Quagliano. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, the meeting is adjourned.
Pretty sure. That was my key.
I'm like,
You were close.
now that I was like, it feels too cold.
Why can't you?
I just, I'm not getting up.
Oh, I wasn't.
I know, it's like, when is it?
Yeah.